Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the press conference on the Garden Grove hazardous materials incident. My name is Greg Barta, Fire Captain and Public Information Officer for the Orange County Fire Authority. On behalf of the 9 Unified Command Agencies, the Orange County Fire Authority, Anaheim Fire Department, Garden Grove Police Department, Orange County Sheriff's Department, Anaheim Police Department, Cypress Police Department, Westminster Police Department, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Orange County Healthcare Agency, in addition to the many assisting agencies, we appreciate you all being here tonight. For updated information, please continue to follow OC Fire Authority on X. Additionally, a public information hotline has been established, and the number is 714-628-7085. Tonight, there will be 9 speakers, with a brief time for questions afterwards. Today's speakers are Orange County Fire Authority Interim Fire Chief TJ McGovern, Garden Grove Police Chief Amir El Farah, Orange County Fire Authority Division Chief and Incident Commander Craig Covey, EPA Federal On-Scene Coordinator Chris Myers, Orange County Health Officer Dr. CK, Orange County Fire Authority Board Chair Josh Sweeney, Garden Grove Mayor Stephanie Kloffenstein, 1st District Orange County Supervisor Janet Nguyen, and United States Senator Adam Schiff. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Chief McGovern.
Thank you, Captain Barta. Good evening, everyone. TJ McGovern, Interim Fire Chief for the Orange County Fire Authority. Thank you all for being here for this important message. You know, early on in this incident, it started with us being advised that there are no options and nothing we can do. Basically, it was going to be a major explosion, which we've been referring to as a BLEVE or a catastrophic spill. That message did not resonate with the firefighters and first responders. We knew we had to come up with a plan. That's what we do. We look at these incidents and we come up with a plan. Throughout the day today, I've been happy to report that the most catastrophic and worst case scenario was mitigated and resolved. That was the case of a potential BLEVE. It's not over yet, and I want to reemphasize that. It's not over yet. We still have work to do. There's 2 things that we're going to be still doing an operation on. Number 1, we still have to mitigate a fire and very small explosion concern, and also a spill potential. You know, I've worked in this city for 25 years prior to joining OCFA, so this incident is very close to me. I want to thank all the citizens who were displaced and their patience in support for us as we're trying to mitigate this situation. Next, I would like to bring up the Garden Grove Police Department Police Chief Amir El Farah.
Good evening. I am Police Chief Amir El Farah with the Garden Grove Police Department. I first want to start off by thanking all of our citizens. I know this has been a challenging and difficult, critical incident. I want to thank you for your patience, your understanding, and your resolve. As you heard, there was new data that was received, and high-level discussions were had with subject matter experts. And I can now tell you that we can reduce our evacuation zone area. The new borders will consist of Orangewood Avenue to the north, Dale Street to the east, Knott Street to the west, and Garden Grove Boulevard to the south. Garden Grove Boulevard will restore flows of traffic in both the east and westbound directions. All off and on ramps of the 22 freeway will now remain open. For those of you who will be returning home this evening, please remember to adhere to traffic laws, drive safely, be mindful of pedestrians and your neighbors. We will be maintaining a high visibility and uniform presence in your neighborhoods for your safety. For those that remain impacted, I know this may be frustrating. That number is approximately 16,000 of you. Please understand that we are doing this for your safety, and we will continue to work diligently so that you will be able to return home hopefully soon. Eviction centers remain open for those who have been displaced. A map showing the new eviction area is going out on social media platforms as we speak. I thank you for your understanding.
We did it. I was handed an incident that had two options: a spill or an explosion. That, as the chief said, it was unacceptable. We put all of our people together, we found a plan, and we instigated it, okay? That took time. That tank was ready to blow up. I want to talk about what's gone on in the last 24 hours that has gotten us to this position so that all your residents understand it's safe to go back. Because remember, I promised you at the beginning of this incident, that was the number one priority, was to get everybody home. But we could only do it if it is absolutely safe. I appreciate the patience. I know it's been challenging and frustrating. So let me explain how we got to where we are in the process of repopulation. 24 hours ago, we started seeing the trends of the tank, okay? A lot of people were asking us, why aren't we getting the tank numbers more often? We were not putting firefighters downrange into the area during the daylight when the tank is at its most vulnerability. So we were doing at night operations, and we're doing it once or twice a night at the most to get in there and get a trend, get in, get out, okay? We were tracking those trends. We had to understand the stability of the tank. What we essentially were shooting for, in layman's terms, is to boil an egg, okay? That's what we wanted. You know, you have to control that temperature to get that egg done right and not crack the shell, okay? The shell did crack, but just enough to release that pressure without causing a leak or an explosion. That was our huge moment in this incident that we were able to capitalize on and take control of it and start mitigating it and go what we would call offensive. Go downrange and start taking active actions to assess the tank and everything you saw on TV last night. That's because of the trending that we saw. You remember we talked about 77 degrees and then 90 degrees and then 100 degrees and then it flattened. And then we went back in and it was 93 degrees. It not only flattened, but it retracted. There we go. That's what we were looking for. That was that moment where we knew we were starting to get a hold of this thing. The tank was stabilizing. Then it's down to 92 degrees. Here we go. We took off all the sides of it. You saw those guys working so hard last night, taking off all the weather and insulation on the side so that the water can directly impact the tank and be more efficient at cooling it and continuing that. That's like that egg when you take off all the shell on the outside. That's what we did last night. So we could get the cooler water on it and be more efficient at cooling this thing down and managing that time temperature curve. Today, with all that information and the fact that we are confident that that tank released its pressure, we have absolutely ruled out the ability for this tank to levy and have that catastrophic explosion. With that intel, working with our partners, the experts from the EPA, the Orange County Healthcare Hazmat Division, our hazmat team, and the technical hazmat team that we brought in last night that led that charge in there, pulling off all that stuff, we were backing them up. With all those experts, we have reduced the footprint to what we are repopulating today. Roughly 65% of the incident is going home. That's a huge win. The number two, back up. The number one win of this whole thing is we've had no injuries to civilians and we've had no injuries to firefighters. It doesn't get any better for that as an incident commander. Super, super successful day. What took so long today? The process is this. After all that data we're gathering last night and the last 24 hours, previous to that, this morning we have a repopulation meeting at 0900. We get all the decision makers in a room. We discuss the whole thing. We present the modeling. We modeled the incident to the current potential. Mind you, there was 6,500 gallons in this tank, but we feel that a lot of that is cured already. We don't think there's that much liquid potential left in it. We don't know exactly how much, but based on all this technology and this indication with the experts, we know some of that is gelled up or hardened like it's supposed to do. So the modeling we did is for 5 days out, looking at the worst possible conditions that are currently forecasted. We built our evacuation footprint on a 360-degree assessment of that, so that if we have a wind change that we are unexpected, we have that covered as well. So that modeling, both plume and potential fire is covered in this evacuation zone. That's why we still have a zone, because we still have hazards in this incident that we're trying to trend and fix and return the final group, that final 35%. So once that group make that decision, then we have to build that hardened interior corridor to protect all the residents that are still going to remain in evacuation. We prepare this whole statement to get everybody so that once they're done with that takes time to go build that whole new perimeter. Once we got that done, we timed it with this so that there was no delay in getting the folks home. They've gotten the messages, it's coming out, and we're going to get them home as soon as possible today. Now the priority left is keep our firefighters safe and get that final group home. I'm very, very optimistic moving forward that we're going to continue with this success, that everything is stabilizing, and we're going to get them home as soon as possible. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Myers. I am a federal on-scene coordinator with the United States Environmental Protection Agency Region 9 Emergency Response. EPA was involved in this incident at the request of Orange County Healthcare Agency. We have been providing air monitoring support and have over 20 real-time instruments, air monitoring instruments located throughout the evacuation zone and in the community. All of the air monitoring instrumentation that we've been operating has been operating 24 hours a day, around the clock, and there have been no exceedances detected throughout the duration of the incident. Federal, state, and local agencies are aligned in their commitment to public safety. Air monitoring will continue throughout the cleanup process as well, not just so post-incident, these operations will continue as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Regina Chinskyo-Kwong. I otherwise go by Dr. CK. I'm your county health officer from the Orange County Healthcare Agency. I really want to say thank you to all of you, especially those who have been displaced, and all the organizations who have been supporting all those who have been displaced in the shelters. Thank you so much. And to all of our partner agencies who have made this successful. But the work is not over yet. There's still some things that we need to work through. We need to make sure it's still safe, and that's why we have a new evacuation zone. I want to reassure everyone who is outside of the new evacuation zone that when you go home, you can feel safe. There was no contamination. There were no fumes. There were no vapors that came from this incident. There was no leak. So you should feel comfortable going home, even if you're across the street from that new zone line. For those of you who are still now in the new evacuation zone, please stay out of that zone. We're trying to protect you because we are trying to make sure that no one is in the zone where there's still potential for risk. Again, I want to thank all of you, and again, I hope you feel reassured with all the information that we have gathered. We had a lot in the team who were working behind the scenes, tracking all the numbers, a lot of data and scientists, a lot of people monitoring the air. So again, I want to thank all of you.
On behalf of the OCFA Board of Directors, I want to express gratitude to our firefighters, law enforcement personnel, technical experts, partner agencies, and support teams who have been working tirelessly on this incident around the clock. This has been a complex situation, and I could not be more proud of all of the professionalism and teamwork displayed over the past several days. Public safety remains our top priority, and we truly appreciate the patience and support from the community. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Stephanie Klopfenstein, Mayor of Garden Grove. Like many of you, this city holds a special place in my heart. Garden Grove is where I grew up, and 5 generations of my family have called this community home. The sacrifices that you have made, leaving your homes, following evacuation orders, and remaining patient throughout this response have helped keep our community safe and allowed our first responders and response agencies to do their job effectively. I know how much this incident has disrupted your daily life for so many families. Residents have been displaced from their homes, businesses have been impacted, and I am relieved that many of you will be able to return home. The coordination, the bravery, and dedication happening behind the scenes is truly extraordinary. We are deeply grateful to every first responder, emergency worker, and city employee who has supported this response. For residents still under evacuation warnings and orders, please continue to follow the direction of our public safety officials. These decisions are not made lightly. They are made to protect lives, help your health, and keep you safe. We recognize that recovery does not end when evacuation areas are reduced or when residents begin to return home. The city remains committed to understanding what happened, supporting those impacted, and working with the appropriate agencies to ensure this incident is fully reviewed. Please continue monitoring city official channels, the Orange County Fire Authority, and ggcity.org/emergency for the latest verified information and updates. The regular City Council meeting scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, May 26th, has been canceled. Instead, the city will hold a special meeting at the Community Meeting Center on Tuesday, May 26th at 5:30 p.m., focused on the incident, the city's response, and the latest information available. Translation services will also be available. We invite the community to attend, ask questions, and stay engaged. Garden Grove will get through this together. We will continue to support our residents, businesses, and community every step of the way.
Again, I'm Orange County Supervisor Janet Nguyen from the 1st District. From the very beginning of this situation, I told you that I, the county, and AQMD are committed to making sure you are safe, informed, and supported through every step of this situation. For the last 96 hours, I've been here at the Emergency Command Center and in evacuation shelters, receiving and sharing information directly to you, the residents. Last night, our brave firefighters and responding agencies pulled off a dangerous operation in the hazard zone at the tanks to do recon and go on offense. Due to their bravery and technical skills, we are headed in the right direction and are getting many of you home. All these agencies behind me, from our own local, state, federal, and other groups coming together to protect our community. The coordination that has happened to get to this moment is nothing short of incredible. Beyond these agencies here, I've been proud to see the outpouring of support from our own community. Neighbors helping neighbors, small businesses and volunteers stepping up and providing for our residents affected by these evacuations. I can't express how thankful and grateful for our residents and community. As a member of the AQMD Governing Board, we will be continuously monitoring the air quality for the next several months, and the EPA will be monitoring our sewage and storm drains. And I can assure you, this matter will be thoroughly investigated. As your county supervisor, the county will make sure to get everyone the help that they need to bring their lives back to normal. I want to thank President Trump and the governor for acting swiftly to secure federal and state emergency declarations, which have brought critical resources into our community to support our local response and our displaced residents. I also want to thank our Fire Chief, McGovern, Orange County Fire Authority, Orange County Sheriff, Garden Grove Police, Garden Grove City, AQMD, EPA, FEMA, our county health officer, our county families, and every agency that has shown up for us. We have the best of the best on deck. We are not out of the woods yet, but we are headed in the right direction, and we will continue to be with you until this situation comes to a close. Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm Senator Adam Schiff, and I just want to begin by acknowledging and thanking the fire chiefs here, the police chief, Madam Mayor, and the mayors of other cities, council members, supervisors, my wonderful colleague Lou Correa, as well as Derek Tran, who is presently at one of the shelters, but most particularly all of the first responders out there who have been heeding the call of duty over the last several days in a very dangerous situation, who have been spending this whole Memorial Day weekend, among other things, away from their family to protect the communities that are impacted. Our thanks go out to all of you. It is wonderful news that one of the tanks of MMA, which had been over the last several days increasing in temperature and looking like it was going to explode, is now decreasing in temperature, and the risk of that explosion has been much mitigated. It's also wonderful news that the evacuation zone is being reduced. But I want to urge folks who are still within the area for which there is an evacuation order to pay attention to that order, to obey that order for your own safety and for the safety of people around you and for the safety of first responders. Nothing is worth risking endangering your lives by trying to go back to your home while there is an evacuation order still in effect. Don't put your lives at risk, and don't put the lives of first responders at risk by getting in their way. So please abide by those evacuation orders. I want to acknowledge the leadership of Derek Tran, who led the effort to get a federal emergency declaration, which I was proud to support along with Alex Padilla and Lou Correa. And I thank him for the work he's doing at the shelters right now. I also want to acknowledge Tom Umberg and his important leadership, but that of all of the folks that have responded to this crisis. I'm glad we now have that emergency declaration from the administration. It was granted within the last 24 hours. That is a great step that will help unlock further assistance from FEMA, EPA, and other agencies. And I'm also grateful to the governor for his swift action to declare an emergency. It's a team effort that's required to deal with an emergency like this at the local, federal, and state level. But once again, my profound thanks to all of the responders that have been out there on the front lines protecting our communities. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you to all of our speakers. At this time, we're now going to open it up for questions. Oh, sir, let me call on you, sir. Go ahead.
What specifically has to be done to this tank to get the remaining evacuees back to their homes? And then what do you do with the contents?
As for the contents, I'll pass that off to the EPA and County Healthcare Agency, who will be part of that process. So I'm not going to be able to answer that question. I'll give you to the experts. Moving forward, what do we got to do? We need to keep seeing the trend and validating that the risk of a catastrophic tank failure with a hazmat spill and the risk of a fire, we're comfortable that that is taken out of the question, just like we did with the levee, the large explosion. So the trending temperatures are the key factor to that. Okay, we took the shell off. Right now, they're going in every 30 minutes to check the temperatures and see where it's going. Once we can rule that out is when we can get the residents back in. Mind you, with the fire explosion, the potential of a fire still. We have a deluge sprinkler system going on that, which also further lessens the ability for that fire to be catastrophic. So all these things are trending in the right way. That's what I'm saying. We are going in the right directions. We're starting to take back control of this incident, and we should get them done soon.
Chief, firefighters are putting all this.
Okay. Folks, Hetty? So the question was the status of the other two tanks, and at what point do we anticipate people being able to the rest of the people being able to repopulate? Chief Covey?
Those are both very good questions. So the other tanks are not as much of a priority of solving the first tank, but they're not off the radar of being needed to be dealt with. So we're going to continue to focus on the priority of this, and that's the status of that first tank and the need for us to gather the information so that we can return the public safely and confidently. Okay, what was the second question one more time? So that'll be the question moving forward. The question is, what kind of repopulation are we going to have moving forward? We had a very large one this time, right? But it was a measured one. That'll be the same process moving forward. We'll let the science and the data, based off the modeling, based off of all the stuff that's coming in from the tank itself and the weather, factor that all together to how big of a footprint do we need to continue having secured and nobody around. Again, my number one goal, and I've said this earlier today, I need to treat this like my own child is going into that space, okay? Your children are just as important as mine, and I need to have that comfort myself that I'm not going to put anybody in harm's way. If it needs to be staggered, we're going to stagger it, just like we did today. If it doesn't need to be staggered, we won't, and we'll bring everybody back.
All right, next question. Go ahead, Michelle. So the question was about how low do we need the temperature to go before we feel comfortable, and is there still potential for a spill?
You got me on that one. A little more technical than I know. If I may, can I bring up Chief Freeman, who is our subject matter expert on that? Chief Freeman, if you can address that.
Good afternoon. Excuse me, Division Chief Nick Freeman, Hazmat Branch. To the question, we have had a lot of opportunity today after the work that was done tonight to start really inspecting those tanks. So if you've seen us overhead, we're working on evaluating the conditions of those tanks, the one involved as well as the adjacent tanks, just to make sure the risk factor for spill is gone before we make any further decisions. So we're doing a lot of that work, and we'll be working through the rest of tonight and until that is complete. That's a good question as far as what temperature we're comfortable. Right now, we're just hoping to see more trending in the downward. Under normal conditions, it is around 50 with that cooling system in place, but that cooling system is not in place. So we're just going to watch the trending. We're going to continue to talk to the chemists and the experts to do the modeling to make sure that we're in the right direction moving forward.
All right. You, sir.
Since the beginning of the incident, do we know how much water has been put on?
Okay, so the question was how much water has been applied on this incident?
That's a big number. So you got a deluge system with a full throttle on it, and then we have that ground monitor on the ground that's flowing 1,250 gallons a minute. So imagine 5 days of that. I can't run that number in my head right now, but we're talking millions and millions of gallons.
All right, next. Go ahead, ma'am. Okay, so the question was, do we anticipate the remaining evacuees being able to go home tonight or in the next few hours? Yeah.
So as far as can they go home tonight, no. We don't have enough data to back that up, that decision. Okay, we're going to run another full night operations. You saw how late they worked last night. So we're going to get all that information, and we're going to revisit the subject tomorrow morning. I wish I could. I promise you. As far as GKN, they have absolutely been hip to hip with us down there. They're the ones that hired that third-party contractor who you saw inside ripping those things off. That was through our collaboration with GKN and teaming up and mitigating this incident.
Go ahead, sir. The question one was, has GKN indicated why this tank overheated?
The tank overheated because it's held by a recirculating refrigerating system. Okay, that's what kept it at 50 degrees. One of the valves in that system froze up, so it was no longer being circulated. And due to that failure, the tank went into the heating up process because it wasn't continuing to be chilled.
Go ahead, ma'am. So the question was anybody that does not evacuate that's still within the evacuation zone, if a spill were to happen, what could the potential impacts be? That would be a good question for Dr. CK. We'll invite you up.
Well, first, we want them to get out, right? We really want them to get out. If there's just no way to get out, then they got to shelter in place and let the air circulate within the home without allowing any of the outside air in. So you really have to understand your HVAC system to understand how to turn that off. So, but we really don't want people in the evacuation zone.
Sir?
Yeah, so firefighters are putting a whole bunch of water on this tank to try and keep it cool. A lot of that water is going into the storm drain. Is it being tested? Is it clean?
So the question was there's a lot of water being applied and there's water going into the storm drain, and is it being tested?
100%. That is absolutely part of our standard operations. At any incident that involves a hazardous chemical, our structure fires, any kind of spills, we are absolutely testing runoff. That's normal operating procedures. Plus, the teams put downstream barriers to capture. It's called an underslung dam. Anything floating, which is what this product does, it's lighter than water, so it floats on the top of it. It's a system that's built up that anything that's going through it captures the stuff on the surface level, where if by chance, and there's not, if there was by chance, we would be capturing it. 100% clean. And it's been clean the entire time that we've been monitoring it.
Michelle, go ahead. So the question's for the mayor, and what would she like to say to her residents?
Thank you for the question. Obviously, their safety, health and safety is of paramount importance to me. I can tell you that obviously I'm not going to really get a good night's sleep or be able to take a deep breath until every single resident is home and safe. So this is ongoing. You can rest assured that we're having conversations with GKN. Those are ongoing and those will continue. And we will stop at nothing to make sure that we have an exploratory conversation. We will be having an investigation. They will be ongoing and they will be transparent. And so we want the residents to understand that this is on the top of our minds and that this is ongoing and that it matters to us. And there will be a lot more to come in the days ahead. But for right now, on the top of my mind is making sure everyone gets home safely. Thank you.
Okay, folks, we have time for just a few more questions. Go ahead, sir. So the question was about potential crime that occurred within the evacuation area and the potential for crime in the future. That'll be for Chief Alfaro.
Thank you for that question. Unfortunately, during incidents like this, we do have bad actors, and since the inception of the incident, we have made 7 arrests. One of those for looting, 6 for prowling, and I will tell you our partners over at the DA's office are going to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law and the statutes in place. We take high visibility patrols, plainclothes details, and the latest law enforcement technology to make sure our communities are safe, and we will continue to do that in these areas that are impacted. And for those who are going back to their homes tonight, they can expect to see Garden Grove PD and our local law enforcement agencies who are partnered with us in this around their neighborhoods for the duration of this event. Thank you. Sure. 1 for looting and 6 for prowling. 7 arrests total since inception. Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're going to have one more question. Go ahead, ma'am. So the question was, when folks return home, do they need to wash down their patio furniture and anything else outside, walkways, etc.?
Thankfully, absolutely not. You're fine. The product that we have is heavier than air. Okay, so it's light on water but heavy on air. So if if anything released in the very beginning stages of this, when we called that emergency evacuation, it settled down in that immediate area. We had no winds. There was nothing that was really pushing this incident other than the pressure being developed in the tank. So if anything came out in that very early stages, which is why we were called out there, it did not get out into the community because we didn't have the winds or the pressure from the tank that send it in there. Your community's clean.
Okay, folks, that's going to go ahead and conclude the press conference. However, I did want to make you aware of one thing. As this press conference was occurring, when Chief Alfara talked about the evacuation zone being reduced, we in live time sent out the new map. And we have the map over here that we're going to be bringing out so you can all see it. And that will conclude the press conference. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you to our community for their support throughout this incident. And please continue to follow OC Fire Authority on X for incident updates. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brianna Greenup. I'm here at the Western Incident Command Post at the Los Alamitos racetrack. We just finished a press conference regarding the Garden Grove hazardous materials incident. And I'm here with Mayor Stephanie Klopfenstein for an update. Hi, Mayor, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
So I'm just wondering, this has been like a whirlwind. Do you have anything to say to the residents of Garden Grove? I know you said something in the press conference, but what's something more personal that you could tell them?
Oh my goodness, I think I'll be talking to the residents of Garden Grove about this for a very long time. As I mentioned in the press conference, I'm not going to get a good night's sleep. I'm not going to truly be able to take a deep breath until I know that everybody is home and safe. And I really just want to thank them for their patience and just really their commitment to adhering to these evacuation orders. It's extremely hard to be displaced. It is not easy. You have children, you have pets. It was Memorial Day weekend, so much going on, but everybody took this so seriously. And I want to commend OCFA and our Garden Grove Police Department and the mutual aid for making sure that they got information out to the public. But to everyone, just thank you so much. Thank you for listening and just your patience. I know how hard this has been, and more than anything, I want to get you home.
And as we know, this is kind of unprecedented, and we're getting a better outcome after today's press conference. It's very positive news. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, it was wonderful to get here earlier this morning, and the news has gotten better as the days progressed. It definitely makes me feel so much better. You know, tonight we know that the evacuation map has shrunk quite a bit. There is still a center portion that is still evacuated, but I'm sure the good news will continue to come in, and so people can safely now come back into their homes this evening. I would just ask that you adhere to the Garden Grove Police Department. They've been out moving barriers and getting things ready for families. Keep that patience going, treat each other with kindness, be safe. There's going to be a lot of congestion and traffic as people move back into their communities, but it's really just a wonderful evening to know that they can get back home. And for those that are still in that really tight evacuation zone, I'm so sorry, we just need a little more time. Your safety is of the utmost importance, your health, everything, so we just need a little more time, but we're going to get there soon.
And I see online there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of misinformation. What would you tell those still in the evacuation zone? Who to follow, what to trust? Because there's just a lot of fear out there.
Absolutely there is, and the misinformation doesn't help that fear. So I would ask you to do a couple of things. I'd ask you to follow Orange County Fire Authority on social media. I would ask you to go to ggcity.org/emergency and follow all of our up-to-date information. And I would also ask you to go to our call center. That is still happening. It's at our City Hall. The number is 714-741-5444. You'll talk to a real person, and they can get you the information that you need, and I think it will give you some peace of mind.
Awesome. And what would you tell them to kind of just reinstore that trust to the city?
I just want the community to know how hard we've worked. It has been all hands on deck since day one, minute by minute, hour by hour. Everybody said, there's a need, we're going to answer. I couldn't be more proud of all of our city departments, how quickly they engaged and acted to this incident. Not only our OCFA, our Garden Grove Police Department, Public Works, you name it, everybody said, yes, we're going to answer the call and we're going to help. So I hope the community knows that we've been in lockstep with you this entire time, and we're going to see this through until everybody's home.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Yes, so we canceled our regular city council meeting. We're having a special meeting. It will still be at the Community Meeting Center. We encourage the community to come, share their thoughts with us. It's a great way to engage. We're going to have speakers from OCFA, our Garden Grove Police Department, myself, city staff, and others. It'll be a way for you to just gain information and understanding about what's happening now, but also what will be happening as the days go on. Tomorrow night is a great first step to really learn what this is going to look like as we move out of the mitigation phase and into to just getting everybody home and what comes next. So I encourage the community to please come to the Garden Grove meeting tomorrow night, 5:30 at the CMC.
And again, this has been Brianna Greenup for GGTV3 and Mayor Stephanie Klopfenstein.